Hey, it's Deborah from Create with Compassion. This is the card that I kind of want to share with you. When I was creating it, I wondered to myself, what would it look like if I heat embossed it? So I went ahead and made one with some heat embossing, and you can see how beautiful that is. And then I thought to myself, well, I wonder what that butterfly would look like with some Journey Glaze and Sparkle Silk. So I had to make another one, and that's beautiful. Love, love, love. And then I thought to myself, I really want to use more sparkle washi tape. So here's one with some sparkle washi tape, and that is just beautiful too. So this one kind of combines some of that heat embossing, the Journey Glaze, sparkle, shimmer and shine. Love it. And I created this card because I wanted to explore kind of how to use the Cool Pool Splash in more ways than what I showed in the video. And I'll put a link for that video in the description of this video, where I kind of explored what this is and how to use it. Let's start with the background on this whipped cream piece of cardstock. I wanted it to be a very subtle cool pool look. When you just spritz it, like in the box that I was doing, I it has such a beautiful mist, and so when it goes out it spreads, and I didn't want to create a mess in my house, and so I tend to get a little close, and it's just too much color saturation than I wanted. So I went outside, and on this card I held this piece of whipped cream cardstock as far as my arm could reach, and then I held the cool pool back here and spritzed towards it. So I had a pretty good distance, and that mist, and I spritzed it good. I would, good and firm spray there, and it went, and you can see some of the beauty in it. I hope the camera really doesn't pick up everything, but it's got a couple good sized droplets and then some smaller ones, and they're kind of a good distance apart, because you can see some of these droplets are just too close together. And then I thought to myself, well, I wonder if I can get it a little bit subtler, a little bit smaller. And so what I did then was I just sprayed it in the air. And so when you do that, you have kind of like a cloud or a little mist of Cool Pool Splash or whatever color you're using, that just, if it's not windy, it just kind of hangs there, and then you can just move that cardstock through it. Now, depending on how you hold it, if you don't have any extra space, because if your thumb is there, it's going to be a little white space there. So if you have your cardstock cut exactly the size you want, then you want to kind of hold it on the edge like so. But if you keep in mind that you're going to do that, you can have your cardstock a little bit bigger to give you a little thumb hold, so you can just move it through that mist of color splash. And so that's kind of what I did with this one, and you can see the droplets are a little bit smaller and somewhat farther away. Now, if it's windy, it kind of disperses it a little bit quicker, and it was kind of windy on this one, and I wasn't as quick, and so you see it's got more distance. I don't know if you can see it or not. I hope you can. If not, there will be pictures posted on my blog for you to check out. But there is a little more distance between the droplets, so that gives it just, I think, a really cool coverage there. And then this one I went through kind of fast through that cloud. So I have, and just kind of playing around with it, things that I've noticed is wind, of course, makes a difference, and then how long you let the cloud hang there, because some are heavier, so it drops quicker, I guess, and it will kind of determine on how fast you move your cardstock through that cloud. If you're going quick, you're going to get, kind of more, I think. If you go kind of slowly, more is kind of dropping as you're going through. And so I already took my whipped cream cardstock and got some of this Cool Pool Splash color on it. On this one, the first time I did it, I think I was a little slow or something. It didn't quite have all that I wanted, so I just did it again, went through it again, and I think I kind of went through, I was holding it, and I kind of went through maybe at an angle or something, because I have a little more on one side, but it's really beautiful. And just to let you know, when you do it, you are going to want to probably come in and just wash your hand. Don't wear long sleeves, because as you're moving your hand through that mist or even holding it and squirting at it, it will spray and washes off real easy, no problem. So I did that preparation for my cardstock. This is whipped cream, and this is 3.5 by 4 3/4. So we are going to begin stamping, and I also made a small panel that is 3.5 by 1 1/4, and that's for this portion there. So I'm going to bring in the butterfly. The stamp set I'm using is called Beautiful Wings, and I'm gonna go ahead and get this butterfly stamped with the black licorice True Color Fusion ink. If you wanted to do the heat embossing, then you would stamp it with the clear pigment ink and then put the black embossing powder on top of that. I'm going to stamp it up near the top, kind of at an angle. And the reason I'm doing this image first is when I was practicing or trying out some different butterflies, and let me show you some of those. I was trying to figure out color combinations. This is black licorice and of course Cool Pool. This is using Riverstone, rock candy. I did some, that really pale pink is bubblegum. The brighter pink is watermelon fusion. And apparently I think I didn't clean it completely, or I might have just stamped it off. I really don't remember, because I inked it up with the Cool Pool, and I don't know if you can see that beautiful, there's like some, it kind of turned it lavenderish, and there's some pink in there, but that anyway is just beautiful, and I've got to use that on a project now because it is just so stunningly beautiful. But anyway, I discovered that stamping this butterfly first made it easier to then go back and add the color with the solid butterfly image. So let's go ahead and get some color onto our butterfly. So I just have a clear plastic sheet. This is actually what comes with the stamps from Fun Stamper's Journey. Got the Cool Pool splash. I'm going to kind of shake that up a little bit, and just I'm going to squeeze the trigger just a little bit so I can just get a few drops there. I don't want too much, and so I'm gonna kind of basically ink my stamp up on this. I'm just gonna move it around that pile there, look at my stamp to see, do I need more there. Go ahead and move that all around, and that is looking good to me. So now I'm gonna stamp that over here on my butterfly. And there it is. Now if you want more than that, then you can just ink that up again, but I like that, and I think I am satisfied with that. And then you know what I forgot to do is my inside panel, just a little bit more there. Ink this up here. There we go. Alright, and I'm just gonna kind of stamp it down here bottom left, and there it kind of has kind of a cool effect. I like that. And then let's go ahead and get that black licorice butterfly stamped there. That is just real pretty for the inside of the card there. The amount of Cool Pool color splash that you put down will determine how much is on your stamp, and so it'll determine how much coverage you get with the different butterflies. And I just love that effect, which this stamp set has kind of a stamp that offers a similar effect. Just going to have one panel, then you would go ahead and ink up your own kind of beautiful stamp and stamp it down there. But I'm going to do the one with the sparkle tape. So I will get my black licorice and we'll stamp this on this panel. That's 3.5 by 1 1/4, already spritzed with the Cool Pool color splash. I'm just going to do my best to kind of center that. We are ready to go ahead and start putting together this card. Now on this card I did some sponging with Cool Pool ink, and this one has sponging with Cool Pool ink as well. And this one, these two I sponged with black licorice. On this card, I think I'm going to not sponge just so we can see kind of what it looks like. Before I adhere this to the cool pull, I want to bring in my black licorice sparkle tape. This is beautiful stuff. And I'm just gonna put that down here near the bottom. I think about a fourth of an inch, I think is what I had down there. So yeah, about like that, because I don't want my panel to cover up my butterfly, but I do want to see some of that beautiful sparkle and shine. Now, the way I added some Cool Pool color down here with sparkle, because I don't have Cool Pool sparkle washi tape, is I took the sparkle washi tape, and this one kind of lets you see through the color that it's on. And I just have a piece of Cool Pool that's 5/8 of an inch by 3.5, and I'm just going to lay this sparkle tape right on top there, and you can see some of that Cool Pool color through it. I'm just going to trim my washi tape along the edge there, as well as the black licorice. And then, because this is going to adhere to the sparkle washi tape, and I want to make sure that it stays because it's so rough and all, I'm going to actually put some of the white liner tape on the back of this, and one piece should probably do it. And so let's adhere this, and I'm just going to probably have about a little less than a fourth of an inch there showing, and then take some foam squares. I've got the medium size ones, and I'm gonna place that on the back of my panel with my sentiment, which I actually intended to place it up near the top. So I'm gonna move those real quick up to the top of my panel. And the reason I did that is because by the time you have the washi tape and then the cardstock with the washi tape, it has kind of a decent sized lip, and if my foam squares are in the middle, it kind of made my panel lopsided, and I did not like the way that looked. So just having them on the top like so still gave it that lift that I needed. Now we can adhere this to our Cool Pool panel. Now if you're going to add Journey Glaze, it is a liquid, and it will kind of make your cardstock funny shaped. Here is one that I made, and you can see how it made my cardstock kind of a slightly funny shape. So what I did for this one to help keep it flat was I actually used the white liner tape all along the edge, and then I'm also going to add some to the middle just to help that cardstock not lose its flatness with the Journey Glaze. And I probably could have added this before I did my layers, but that's okay. It works still. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add this to this Cool Pool layer. Now this layer has kind of an odd measurement. It's 3 9/16 by 4 13/16, and I just want an ever so very small border here. And then I'm going to go ahead and add that to a piece of black licorice that is 3 3/13 by 5 1/16, and I'll just use my regular Easy Glide here. So I'm going to get this centered. There's more of a border going around this one, so I think that looks pretty good. And then we can bring in our card base. This is just Cool Pool. There's our card base, so we can go ahead and bring this panel in, and with some adhesive on the back of that, put that inside. And I'm going to go ahead and pop this front piece up on some foam squares, and we will center that. That looks pretty good. Now, as you can see, these other ones I did sponging. This one does not have the sponging. If you're interested in sponging, you just simply, I have about a fourth of a Fusion ink sponge, and you just kind of tap that onto your ink and then just swipe it on your cardstock. And depending on, the angle that you do determines how much ink you'll see on your cardstock. So you can do that to any of the pieces that you'd like. Now I'm going to add some Journey Glaze. But first, let's get that sparkle dust. This is just a lot of fun to use, but it sure gets everywhere. I'm just going to pinch it a little bit and I'm going to sprinkle it on my butterfly. I'm trying to keep it mainly to my butterfly. Then I'm just going to cover the butterfly with my Journey Glaze. And I love the Journey Glaze. I don't really have any issues with air bubbles or anything. Like I said, it is liquid, so it will kind of warp your cardstock, and I think the more you use, the more it will warp. And I think I tend to put a pretty good thick layer on. I'm just going to kind of move that Journey Glaze around and get this butterfly covered in. Okay, and you can kind of pick that up and move it around so that it shines off the light and see if you missed anything. If you got Journey Glaze kind of where you didn't want to, I just take like a toothpick and I just scrape it off there. And you do want to do that, of course, before it dries. It doesn't take too long to start drying, and of course the thinner of a coat you apply, the quicker it will dry. A thick coat is going to take longer to fully dry, and so I won't mess with this until tomorrow. There we go. So let's bring in one that is already dry. And so what I do after it is dry, I just take a dry brush and I just kind of wipe off into usually the garbage or wherever all that extra sparkle dust that was on there. I did receive the Blue Skies sequins today with my order, and they have some that are kind of cool pool color. So I just kind of wanted to see what those look like added to my card. I'm just going to use the Journey Glaze, and I'm going to put, I think, a few up here. Not really thinking too much about it. Maybe I should think about it, but they've got that nice big one. Let's see, how about kind of a medium one maybe there, followed by one of these little ones right there. Oh yeah, these are beautiful. I think I'm probably going to go crazy on this card, but let's put maybe a few down here. They always say to do odd numbers, and triangles are pleasing to the eye, and that's 6, so we need to probably maybe put a few over here. There we go. So that's it with some of the what looks to me to be cool pool sequins from the Blue Skies sequins. So that is beautiful. So let's just take a quick look again at the cards. This one was originally just with the black licorice and cool pool. Now I've got some sequins added to it and I am liking it. And then let's see, here is the one with the black embossing powder, heat embossing there. This is it with just the Journey Glaze and sparkle dust. And then here is the one with some added sparkle tape to it. So that is a lot of fun and just so beautiful. Well, thank you so much for joining me during this video. I just want to let you know I'm going to host a little bit of a giveaway over on my Facebook page, Create with Compassion. I would like to know which of these cards was your favorite. And so I'm going to have a little post there with each of these cards pictured there, and I would like to know which one was your favorite. I will pick a random winner from everyone who has voted, and will send them their favorite card. So that will take place, I think a week is fair. So next Monday, that is, I believe, April 16, I will choose a winner from that Facebook post. So please head on over to my Facebook page and participate in that. Love to know which one was your favorite. I really appreciate you joining me today for this video. If you have any questions about Fun Stampers Journey, please don't hesitate to contact me. I would love to be your Fun Stampers Journey coach, and I'm here to be a resource for you. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.